these things can happen in normal relationships where guys self-sacrifice in a manner that's unhealthy, and that causes them to lose frame, lose the attraction of their woman, and things go very badly when they do that. Although knowing the red flags are important, what's more important is that you learn about yourself here, okay? Because there's something inherently within you that cause you to be vulnerable or susceptible to getting into an NPD or BPD relationship to begin with. So the key to not getting in with it in it again is to learn about what makes you susceptible. If you can learn and figure out what is it about me that would allow me to be in this situation where I end up going crazy and literally losing myself until I finally break out of it, or I'm broken up with or cheated on or discarded. What is it about me that would cause me to get into that to begin with? All right, so that is the question you need to ask, because if you can answer that question, right, then what's going to happen is you won't get into these things, regardless of any red flags that you missed. Because usually what I find is it's a combination of a number of things. Some insecurities, okay, I hate that word, but in this it's appropriate here. All right, I'm not using that word just to shame and just make people feel weak or something, but it's these but in this case, people who are susceptible, they might have some self-esteem issues and some insecurity issues and not feeling worthy or good enough. That could be one thing. Not always though, because if she's making herself into your perfect partner, and it's easy to fall for that, you know what I mean? So very healthy people can fall for that as well. So the insecurity thing though is not universal, but it is one of those things. Learning from an early age that your value is in taking care of others at the expense of your own needs and wants, and learning to deny your own feelings and thoughts about things. That's a most common trait right there. Guys who learn, and we could say the blue pilled guy, right, who learns to self-sacrifice for the relationship, which is pretty normal. That's what's taught to most men. Well, that paradigm makes you vulnerable to these types of relationships. You really wouldn't get into these types of relationship if you were focused on taking care of yourself first and then taking care of others. But if your model is to sacrifice yourself and to feel good about that self-sacrifice in order to, do things for other people, well, that sounds good to a lot of people, but really it's not. And so what ends up happening is you are open to somebody abusing that quality that you have, or that aspect of yourself. Another quality or trait is that if you're made to believe you're a bad person easily, if you're easily made to believe that I'm a bad person for not being considerate of another. So it's feeling guilty. Your automatic default is, oh, I messed up, or I'm a bad person because of someone else's wants, needs, or feelings. If feeling bad for not sacrificing yourself, that's not a healthy trait. Okay. And I'm not saying to be selfish and to be a dick, but you can put other people's priorities, and make those a priority for yourself, but you're not sacrificing yourself to do so. There is a difference between taking care of other people while taking care of yourself, because when you do that, your ability to take care of people goes up, right? Your ability to help people out is, you can help people out in a much greater and much more impacting way when you're taking care of yourself. But a lot of people get into that sort of toxic dynamic where they don't take care of themselves and they feel better about themselves by sacrificing themselves. If that's you, that is putting you right in line. So that is the number one thing, because there's a lot of people who aren't really insecure, don't necessarily have, by definition, low self-esteem, but they've just learned this model that when I'm in a relationship, happy wife, happy life. I got to sacrifice myself for this other person. Oh, I have these goals and dreams, but I got to sacrifice these dreams because she wants kids and she wants to get married next year. And gosh, I really love her. And so, whatever, right? These things can happen in normal relationships where guys self sacrifice in a manner that's unhealthy. And that causes them to lose frame, lose the attraction of their woman, and things go very badly when they do that. So back to mental point of origin, you want to stay on it and you want to stay on your purpose. And this, by doing that, you're going to remove the possibilities of getting into it with a BPD or NPD chick, at least getting into it too far, right? She may dupe you for a little bit during the love bombing, but once things start to take a turn for the worst and the requirement becomes that you sacrifice your purpose in life to handle and deal with this relationship, you're going to end up not going down that road anymore, right? If you have a sense of healthy self-esteem and you know you're worth something and that your worth is not predicated on her validation or on your worth isn't predicated on you sacrificing your goals and dreams because she's having a problem today, right? You're not going to end up in it. So red flags that you can have the most convincing, manipulative con artist in the world that you get in with who can totally dupe anybody and everybody, including me. And I'm pretty damn good at this stuff. You can have that. But the thing is, you won't get into it if you stay on your mental point of origin. All right. And you know what? Your superpower in this, the ultimate superpower, and this is where, a big part of frame, a big part of what I'm helping train guys to do, both in the Alpha Mindset course, which is you can just purchase, keep it forever, or in the Mastermind group where you're working with me, is to have that outcome independence, meaning that confidence in yourself, that you'll make everything good, even if things don't turn out well. All right. That's by definition there, and also not needing a woman for validation. You can be with a chick in a healthy relationship and have all the love feelings and all the good stuff without looking to her to validate who you are as a person. You can separate those things, but it does take a different way of thinking, and it does because you think you have it, but then you don't, right? And so you want to be able to do that because that's a healthy thing where you know that you're worthwhile, even if she's mad at you today and doesn't think so. All right. So that's your superpower for not getting into these types of relationships, is to be able to, is to be able to have that outcome independence and not need validation from any woman at all. You know what I mean? The validation you have comes from the data, not from somebody else's emotions. Because you got to remember, when someone's with you, even in a healthy relationship, when that girl that is really into you, she's in an emotional exchange. So her opinions are not going to be logical. When she's upset or mad at you, she's going to feel a lot of bad feelings towards you. And that doesn't mean you're a bad human being or a worthless human being, right? And so you have to be able to separate those two things. When you learn how to do that and can hold frame, you'll never get into a toxic relationship dynamic like this ever again. You'll never do it. Red flags or no red flags.